The city of Troy, then known as Wilusa, has been in a war for 9 years with Agamemnon and his Greek army, having generals like Odysseus, having warriors like Achilles. Historically, the Greeks won and burned Troy. But let's change one thing and see, can a modern US Army fire team crush more than 100,000 Greeks? Or will they fall just like Troy did? Let's find out. A displaced US Army engineering detachment finds itself running the city's defense. Captain Sophia Mercer looks at the survey map and sees a tactical nightmare. 9 massive gates scattered across a massive perimeter. Far too many access points for a unit running dangerously low on fuel, night vision, and ammunition. Her order is straightforward. Seal the gates one by one until the city's defense is reduced to a single, manageable choke point. She doesn't realize she is playing directly into the hands of a commander on the beach the locals call Olut, or Odysseus. Mercer's squad brings up quick-setting concrete and masonry blocks to seal the smallest door first, but it nearly triggers a local revolt. Darez, an elderly hereditary keeper of the city's main processional arch, marches into the command post and makes her understand through an interpreter. In Wilusa, a gate isn't just wood and iron, it holds 20 generations of family lineage and guardian rights. Bricking it up without proper honors is a desecration. Mercer adapts, stands by, while Darez leads the traditional chants, and lets her squad present arms. They lay the gate to rest properly. Darez gives her a quiet nod of approval, and gives her his approval to close more gates. The Greeks realize what the Americans are doing. 500 infantry advance, under cover of a heavy wooden mantlet, toward the half-sealed Shepherd's Gate. Waiting in the arch above is Sergeant Marcus Hale, Specialist D. Okoro, and PFC Sam Finch, 19, who has given their Carl Gustav a name. The 84mm round Okoro slams home was built to open armored vehicles, so what it does to a wooden ram at 200 meters looks to the men beside it like a divine weapon, a spear of fire with a thunderclap at both ends, throwing a 13 psi blast wave behind them and pulverizing the ram 200 meters away in less than a second. Finch stencils a tiny gate on the launcher tube, first of a row. There were 14 rounds left when they came to Troy. There are just 13 now. Checking the after-action report, Mercer notices something unsettling. The Greek assault had arrived late and was strangely hesitant, as if its true goal wasn't to breach the gate, but merely to verify that her team was guarding it. After this, Gate 7 is sealed from the inside after a night patrol catches a local guard team bribed to leave the main bar unlatched. Gate 6, mainly used by traders, is destroyed by a Greek fire raid before Mercer's team can secure it. The loss of Gate 6 is a disaster. It was the only wide, paved route capable of moving the Americans' remaining vehicles. When Mercer overlays the timeline of Greek attacks against her own engineering schedule, the pattern becomes obvious. Every gate she tried to close was met with brutal resistance, while the gates she needed to keep open were systematically sabotaged or destroyed. The enemy strategist on the beach is reading her like a playbook. The trap tightens. The strategy converges on a single point, the Great Gate, the Gate of the Gods, through which every festival, treaty, and homecoming has passed. The king will not hear of sealing it. With that, only 4 gates remain, and Mercer plays her last card. If the Great Gate must stay open, it stays open armed. Her engineers work nights inside the ancient arch, Darez holding the lamp. He's the only Trojan who will allow it, setting hidden demolition charges into the vaulting, wired to a firing box in the operations center. Darez touches the ancient stone and quietly looks into the sky, wondering if tradition is the true cost of war. With the Great Gate rigged, Mercer tries to break the enemy's trap by rapidly sealing the remaining secondary doors. Realizing the Americans are attempting to break sequence and disrupt their plan, the Greeks drop all subtleness and attack the closure of Gate 2 with brutal, overwhelming force. It turns into the worst day of the displaced war, with wave after wave of infantry crashing against the half-built masonry wall, while light chariots mass in the tree line behind them. Hale's team holds the gatehouse roof for 6 hours. Okoro loads, Hale fires, while Finch guides the men. 11 rounds remain. 9, 7, On the final surge, an arrow catches Finch in the throat. He falls down on the ground and doesn't get back up. Specialist Okoro fires the last round of the day into the Greek ranks, clearing the breach. When they bring Finch's body down, nobody says a word or cries. They just rest him near the gates, like the Trojans did. Dares sheds a tear, but quickly wipes it away. Time passes away, and eventually the Greeks were being pushed by the Trojan force, and the Greeks decide to retreat. In the spring of the 10th year, the Greek beach goes quiet. Their ships are gone. Left behind on the empty shore are the sacred bronze and wooden cult statues looted from Wilusa years earlier. They were an offering of surrender. King Priam orders the great gate thrown wide to bring the holy icons home. Dares stands at his post, preparing for the ceremony he has trained his whole life to perform. In the operations center, Mercer stands over the firing box, her hand on the clacker. Her instincts scream trap, but her eyes show her only weeping citizens, priests singing hymns, and unarmed elders dragging the heavy wooden sleds carrying their gods back through the archway. There are no weapons, no hidden armor, no tactical pretext to detonate 50 tons of rock onto Priam and his people. Midnight brings the collapse. The enemy infiltrators, hidden not in a grand siege engine, but slipped in among the chaos, start fires across 6 sectors simultaneously. As the city burns, Hale and Okoro prop their last 84mm illumination shell at a steep angle and fire it into the night sky. The magnesium flare ignites under its small parachute, hanging above the breach like an artificial star, lighting a path through the dark so fleeing refugees can escape into the hills. At the center of Wilusa, the Greek vanguard rushes toward the Great Gate to open it for the main force waiting outside. But when they arrive, the massive timber doors are already shut and bolted from the inside. Dares, having realized the deception, returned alone at midnight to drop the massive iron bar, locking his own city shut against the dark. It is said that the Greeks spared only a few during their siege. Whether Mercer and Dares were among them is something that we may never know.
So, this was something I came up with last night, and honestly, I kind of liked how it played out. I tried to keep the military dynamics as historically accurate as possible, but if I missed a tactical detail, let me know in the comments. And if you enjoy videos like this, don't forget to subscribe. Maybe next time we'll talk about what would happen if Japan had developed nukes for America. Maybe not.